Hey guys, welcome back to Brake Stand Garage. Today, I looked at my cam bearings, so now I'm gonna have to change them. There's a bunch of different cam bearings you can get. The best ones are, in my opinion, for the price, are like the CH25s, the CHR 25s. They got the coated ones, uncoated. I just got the CH25 ones. They're the wider ones for like Gen 4 LSs. This is like a Gen 3.5. It's Gen 3 basically, but it's got the bigger rods and stuff in it. It's like the big rod LQ4. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, I'll show you why I'm changing them. I'll show you why I'm going to change them. I put my, I got like a Texas Speed Torquer camshaft. I paid almost 500 bucks, shipped and all that. And I don't want to have to, I just don't want to risk the extra wear on the camshaft, because obviously the cam bearings look bad, so they all do, even if they're good. And I'm sure, like this, I think this motor had like 140, 150,000 miles, so I mean, it's got plenty of life left in these cam bearings, but I'm going to change them. I had good luck on the 4.8, which I blew up for other reasons. With the cam bearings that I changed, they went in easy, so let's just have at it. Basically, you want to put them in order. You want to line up the oil ports. You mark the bearing or however you want. When you slide it in, you have to make sure that the holes are lined up with the oil ports. If you don't, your camshaft's going to last like 10 seconds. So, yeah, anyways, I'm going to try and do this with the crankshaft, rods, and pistons in the block. I've never done it like that before. This is actually only my second time doing it anyways. But let's just see how it goes. Brand new one. I don't know if you see, but it's a Texas Speed Torquer. It's 600 lift, 232 and 234 duration. It's got the 112 overlap. Now I'm going to take my camshaft insulation tool and I am going to assemble it so it is longer. Specifically, I do want to use a dead blow on this, so everything doesn't bounce back. This one is specifically made for LS camshafts. I don't know what, or cam bearings. I don't know what else it would work on, but the end doesn't expand. It's already set up for a specific cam bearing. So. Cam bearing is off. Pull this back through, the bearing is left in there. And hopefully it'll fit through here. Let's see if I can show you the cam bearing. You see, typical cam bearing, it's really not that bad. I was gonna reuse it. It's a little rough on the top here. This was the top, this is the bottom. I was gonna reuse it, like no problem. I was just gonna measure it and reuse it. The only reason why I didn't is because this is the thin style. Let me grab one of the Durabond, the 25s, and I'll show you. And this one I think is gonna be number 1. Yeah. So you want these going in a specific order. See that number 1 right there? With the light shining. There's also a number 1 inside of this Durabond pack. This one, the lettering's not as obvious. You're not going to be able to see this, but up here, there's a little number 1. This is CH25-1. The reason why I'm swapping the cam bearings, the only reason is because I have racing valve springs, and as you can see, these are taller. Not by a lot, but there's more surface area on the new ones. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting as much support for this camshaft as possible, because I have the racing springs, higher lift, and I mean the tolerance does seem very a whisker loose on there. So I mean, honestly, I can't tell. Like, I want to put the bearing on and be like, oh yeah, there's more play with the new one, but these get pressed on, so the diameter is going to get smaller when it gets pressed in. So I'm going to pound out the rest of these, and then there's a specific order that we have to hit these in. Alright guys, so basically I marked the bearings on the very edge where the holes are. Okay guys, so I marked on the very edge where of the bearing with a Sharpie where the oil holes are. Let me see if I can pull this out a little bit and show you. See that one right there and that one? It's hard to see, but that black mark, and that one's a little smudged, but I want it to line up with that oil port. So that's what I did. You want them on bottom. The camshaft is going to spin this way because we're looking at the back of the motor. So that means that the oil is going to feed in through this side and immediately go around the bottom of the bearing. So I'll go ahead and hit this one out a little bit. Then we pull that out, check the alignment, go a little further. You don't want to accidentally pound that bearing past this one. That would be bad. So let's see if we can get it in. To line up with this, so you want inward pressure. Come back, check it out. Not even close, so I'll just keep going until it looks kind of close. I want to do a good job keeping everything in line. Looks like it's getting a little close, so I'm going to pull this back a little bit. I'm going to check the alignment. Show you what I'm looking at. So now, come back here. As you can see, we're not even close yet. Oil port is right at the edge of that bearing, so let's pound in. I'll pound it a little bit further and show you what I got. All right, well, I got the back one in. Look through here, the oil port is very nicely lined up. Looks like there might be a little burr in there, or a little chip. I'm gonna have to try and get that out. That's the tiny details you really gotta watch, is, you know, those little, you know, just things going wrong like that. A little chip that could get sent through the bearing and cause you to spin a bearing or something. So I'll stick a vacuum on that and try and jostle those loose with a little pick. But that's number one bearing. The next one's number 2, then 3, then 2, then 1. So let's put this number 2 in back here. And again, I'm gonna flip this around so it's upside down. I can wiggle the cam bearing down in from the bottom of here and get it on this tool. And then I flip it back upright so I can look down these areas and make sure everything's lined up. So flip this. Gotta put it in right here. So drop right here. I used to stand the bearing upright. If you look down in there, the bearing is in there upright. Stick my tool back in through here. Feed it all the way down until I make contact with that bearing. 3. Right now it's not on the tool straight, as you can see, so I'm going to fiddle with that real quick. Alright. So look down in here. It's now on the tool all the way. So now I'm going to figure out where these oil ports are. I'm going to line them up in a vertical sense, or upright, so it's going to be in this somewhat-ish location there. I'm going to peek down both this end and that end with the tool out, and I'm just going to double check, make sure everything's lined up. So that one's lined up. Now I gotta find that other one. That other one's up at the top, which there isn't an oil port there, so that's okay. Remember, this block's upside down. So if I pound that in, it should line up. Let's go see how it goes. Alright, so I'm gonna poke in through the back here. And I got this pick that I had before that I was using to help line these bearings up. Now I want to take this pick and I want to feel in here. See, I'm lined up with the oil port, but if I go to the front, it drops in, it hits a wall. If I pull it back further, it slides into the port. So it's, yeah, you guys see it here too. It's gonna come back a little bit more. So I gotta pound that in a little bit better until this hole is fully open. So basically, I don't want to pound too much harder on this. I'm gonna give it a couple, 1 or 2 love taps. And when you do it, you make sure we're seated in there, and you're holding this in too. Everything's gotta go nice and straight. All right, so that was a couple of love taps. Hopefully it wasn't too many. We'll see what she looks like. All right, yeah, she's definitely pounding in a little further. Let's stick my tool in here. And I can see that there's still a little bit of a ridge on the front here, which is good. Just a little one. It still goes into the oil port. Comes straight off. I feel a little tiny ridge there, but it's not even really a shelf. And this side feels really good too. And see how that entire hole is very open. So, see that right there? There's a little bit of, I can just follow that hole all the way around. Just go right around the rim with it. So that looks good. Middle one's gonna be a little tougher, but I think we're pretty well lined up in that one. These are easier to see when you get the cranks out, but I really don't want to crack this open and risk my mess up on this, because I know the bearings are good in this. Everything's tight. All right, so let's see if I can show you. This one is number 3. Right there where that shine is. This is little 3. This is the smallest OD bearing, so I can go right past number 1 and number 2, right to number 3. Hard to see through the camera with the focus and stuff, but when I shine it in, I look to the side, the alignment looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead, finish the next 3, including this one, and get them in. Cross our fingers that the cam slides right in nice and easy. Nice tight fit, but no resistance when we spin it. There'll be a little resistance from the viscosity in the assembly loop, but other than that, it should be good. So I want to show you guys how I'm kind of seeing this one. So that's the cam bearing. Oh man, there's too much reflection in there. But I can see that bearing is not quite lined up. I have about maybe a the 16th inch to go. All right, this is the moment of truth. See if we can get this cam bearing or this camshaft all the way in. We'll do this one-handed. So far, things are lining up. All right. Let's get this all the way in. Make sure she feels good. So far, so good. Nothing's bound up. All right, she's in. Feels pretty nice and tight. And she spins all on her own. That's awesome. That's good. Things are going good. And there she be. I have a brand new cam retainer plate right here. And basically, once you put that on, and then you put your timing, your cam timing gear, it'll stay in place. The cam timing gear and the face of this bearing here will hold the camshaft in place. So there you go. It's not too bad. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm gonna double check those tolerances. I should have a set of snap gauges here somewhere, but these are the snap gauges I was talking about. I'll stick these down in there, get a nice size in 2 directions on all of them, and then I have some cheap manual micrometers to check, make sure that those bearings are in tolerance, but I have a feeling I'm pretty good. Anyways, guys, I actually go for a pretty minor surgery, a little day procedure, tomorrow morning. So I'll be out of the engine work game for at least 4 weeks. That's the recovery. I can't lift anything for 4 weeks. So one thing that I'm gonna have to do is get this engine pulled, put the studs on the new motor, but waiting on head gaskets. I have all my other seals and gaskets and bearings and stuff in that I'm going to use. I might have to do some work to the intake manifold to get that to fit nice and sealed. But I also kind of wanted to show you that my buddy picked these up for 75 bucks on Marketplace for me. They're from like a LC9 or something, probably an LQ9 actually, 2011 to 2014 or something like that. But they're the flex fuel sensors, and I guess these are good for like, I think it was like 42 pounds at 60 psi if I remember right. So that'll be fine for this NA. And then if I get a supercharger or do a rear mount turbo, then I'll have to upgrade the sensor, the injectors. But for now, I'm gonna get those cleaned up and run those. I'll still try and post a little bit. I'll be home for a few days extra this coming week. So I'm gonna try and post a little bit more often. So hopefully we'll see you guys in another day or two. So take it easy, guys. I'm gonna go rest up. Surgery's first thing in the morning, first surgery of the day. So hang tight and we'll see you guys on the next video.